at least some type of rotation with it. And as Eric was mentioning, there is a little bit, it's broad, but it looks like it's more so the potential for damaging straight line winds. It's just kind of pulsing down, pushing the winds down right towards the surface, but it could quickly spin up. Where that is located at, that's on Rossville Road. It's moving off towards the east. Wade Road would be involved in that eventually. Moscow and moving out towards Grand Junction, LaGrange here very shortly. So again, that's the area that we're keeping an eye on. We'll put the storm track on there for you. It will be approaching Moscow and as well as Hayes here very shortly. So again, if you're in Oakland, I can give you the all clear from this particular warning. You know, we're getting some strong winds moving through Somerville as well. It looks like that's going to be more so wind action than anything else, going down 64, heading out towards the county line. So again, in Somerville, that looks like it's just some gusty winds, upwards of maybe 50 to 60 miles per hour. But then you've got the tornado warning storm where we have a little bit of rotation associated with it, making its way down towards the south and east out of central portions of Fayette County. So again, I wouldn't be surprised. Again, if you're in Shelby County, I want you to understand that storm is out of Shelby County. Okay, no rotation in Shelby County. So if the sirens are going off in eastern Shelby County, the circulation is firmly in Fayette County, okay? Firmly in Fayette County, but it is crossing over Wade Drive, Hewlett Drive, and eventually heading over towards McKinstry Road, Tennessee Highway 76. And this is Tennessee Highway 57 down here at the south end of this. So again, between Rossville over towards LaGrange, anywhere in that area, south of Williston, safe place now, interior room, away from windows, lowest floor of your home. Of course, as this storm continues to track down towards the south and towards the east. And again, we'll go back over to the shear rate, and that's what we're tracking. That's the area that is of concern here, crossing over Rossville Road right now in between Macon and New Bethel, and moving down towards the south and east at about 40 miles per hour. I haven't seen any ground truth with this. About the biggest ground truth that we've seen so far, Eric, has been the gusty winds as the line was moving through the city of Memphis. Got a 40 mile per hour wind gust downtown, 30 here midtown, and an estimated 45 out in Arlington.
And you know, the good news is, Patrick, I was just looking at the National Weather Service. They're saying that they're going to cancel the warning here for Shelby County. And we've been talking about that here as far as Shelby County. That's not really the area of most concern right now. It really is more into Fayette County than anywhere else. So let me turn around. We're going to zoom back into the warned area right now. And this is a tornado warning that is in place for the southern portion of Fayette County as well as the southwestern corner of Hardeman County until 1:30 this afternoon now. If we take a little bit closer of a look right now, the thing I want you to kind of note are just some of these little hooks that kind of pop up right along this line here. See that area that's into the southwest corner of Fayette County, getting closer to the Rossville area, another one that's just to the southwest of that. Those are the general areas that we have to keep an eye on as far as the potential of any sort of rotation and any sort of tornadic activity. Fortunately, I'm not seeing anything really capturing my attention here that we could be seeing a tornado on the ground or any sort of real organized tornado activity. But since it's still a tornado warning here across the Mid-South, meteorologist Patrick Ellis and myself want to make sure we jump on here to keep you guys safe. And once we get this out of here, don't worry, we'll be going back over to the senior tour here as far as golf goes. But until this kind of gets expired, it's a good idea for us to kind of keep an eye on things here as far as the Mid-South is concerned. Still seeing some stronger winds definitely embedded within this throughout the central portion and the southern portion of Fayette County. The thing that I'm looking for here right now is when you start getting some of those reds and greens that are together, but I'm not really looking at this area. Once that front passes by, our air becomes cooler and we don't really worry about so much of a severe weather threat. But some of these brighter reds that pop up here, every now and then we could get some of those green pixels that pretty much accompany, and they're right next to these red pixels, and that's when we could start seeing some of our tornadic activity here. So fortunately, I guess the good news is out of this, we have some brighter reds, but I don't see too many green pixels that are nearby. So there's definitely some stronger winds right now into the southern portion of Fayette County. A good idea if you're over into Grand Junction. I'd say even over into Sladen as a safe than sorry measure here. Just get into that safe place right now. And I know at those two specific areas, going back here, what, about 6-7 weeks ago at this point now, you saw some tornadic activity and some pretty nasty tornadic activity from those tornadoes that did move through there. But at least for the time being, Patrick, we're not seeing anything that's confirmed on the ground from what I've seen thus far. And this looks to still be radar indicated.
Yeah, so far it still seems to be radar indicated, as you mentioned. Let's pull up the MLGW numbers really quickly to show what's going on with that. About 9,800 homes and businesses without power right now, and a lot of them happening to be right across Midtown and down through Orange Mound, back south into the Hickory Hill area, as well as Parkway Village. That goes along with what we were kind of watching with some of these storms. We got that 30 and 40 mile per hour wind gust that was making its way across downtown Midtown, and then all of a sudden there was a burst of wind that seemed to be right over Hickory Hill and up towards Germantown. So I would not be surprised if we had, maybe a 50 or 60 mile per hour wind gust with that as that line was coming through here. Let's go back over to Lynx. I want to show you the temperatures, and the reason why I'm going to show you temperatures, it is a bearing in the forecast, because if you see the temperatures in the 60s, you're more than likely not going to see severe weather moving forward. That is the colder air that's dumping southward. But farther down to the south, we still have at risk for a few stronger storms if storms can latch on to that environment. Obviously quite warm south of this boundary, which we've been plagued with over the last couple of days. Temperatures are in the 80s across portions of northwest Mississippi into the Delta. And then, of course, the farther north that you go, a huge temperature differential across the Mid-South. Back over to that storm that we have been watching here. Again, the circulation does not look as strong as it was a couple of minutes ago. I want to go over to the velocity product, and I see what you're saying, Eric. That little spot just south of Highway 57 doesn't look like that's correlating with anything. I think that's just some bad data that came in. But the circulation does not look as strong as it did a couple of minutes ago, even based off of what we've been watching. Again, the circulation nearing Hayes Crossing, Moscow, moving across Tennessee Highway 57 and Tennessee Highway 76 here shortly, out towards the 45 community and LaGrange if it holds together. But as I mentioned, it does not look like it did even a couple of minutes ago. When we look at the sheer swath, that particular storm was much stronger as it was coming through the northwestern portion of the county. It would be this particular pocket right here that has angled itself down towards the south and east. And notice it's not as strong as it was. So again, there's some positive notes here, but there's still at least some evidence that there is some rotation with the storm, or at least could. But really and truly, Eric, when we look at this on the broader scope, we were looking at those storms as we were kind of tracking them through eastern Shelby County. It looked like it was more wind issues than anything else. So I think there were a couple pockets of downbursts that we saw along the track here, even before the warning came out.
Yeah, agreed on that. And it looked like over kind of towards the Oakland area. I know you and myself, we were looking at that here going back, about 15, 20 minutes ago before the actual warning was issued here, just to the west of Oakland. That's where there were some stronger winds embedded right now. So the good news is, though, we haven't had anything confirmed on the ground as far as the tornado goes, and as far as even the winds go, we haven't seen anything over the top as far as the velocity of the winds here. I'm meteorologist I'm meteorologist Eric Brill with meteorologist Patrick Ellis here at Action News 5. The time right now is 1:09 in the afternoon. There's a tornado warning that is in place right now for portions of Fayette and Hardeman counties. Fortunately, we haven't had anything confirmed on the ground. If you're in northeast Arkansas, you're in good shape right now. We will be monitoring some of these showers and storms that are in north central Arkansas that do look to move towards our general vicinity as we go deeper into the afternoon and eventually into the evening hours. But if we take a look at that tornado warned storm right now, it is for the southern portion of Fayette County and the far southwestern corner of Hardeman County. If you're in Somerville, while your county is in a tornado warning, we're not really worried about the tornadic activity with respect to you specifically in Somerville. Even as far as what we have going on for the velocity right now, still nothing really capturing my attention. Might be some stronger winds to the south of Somerville and really kind of right along Highway 57. That's where we could be seeing maybe some of these stronger winds right now. Anything popping up here as far as the turbulence goes? There definitely is some turbulence in the sky, but yet again, nothing really capturing my attention here as far as tornadic activity goes. I'd say this little notch that might be trying to pop itself up here. Maybe we have a little something there, but even then, for it being a tornado warning, I do think the National Weather Service made a good call just as a safe than sorry measure with respect to this, but I think we're in pretty good shape for most of us right now. There's one little area I do want to take a little bit closer of a look right into getting closer to really Marshall County at this point. And I do think if they were to extend this warning out, they probably would include at least portions of Marshall as well as into Benton counties. Turn around and kind of see that area that's into the red and green right there. Okay, fortunately it looks like it's kind of going away here, but there definitely is little something trying to pop itself up. It looks like just to the north of the Sladen region right now, really kind of of between Sleaton and Grand Junction here into the south of Moscow. So the good news is we don't have anything too terribly organized at this point as far as there being something really capturing our attention, but there definitely is at least some spin in the sky right now, and definitely some strong winds that are accompanying this as well. This is a tornado warning. It's not a severe thunderstorm warning, so this isn't warned for the potential 60+ mile/hour winds, but more so just a little bit of spin in the sky here, and really all along this leading edge of this disturbance, we've been able to see some stronger winds that have been embedded, none that have been kind of severe warned up to this point, but these little notches that start to flare up here, that starts to capture
and
attention.
they just canceled the
there
warning.
You go. Looks like the National Weather Service canceling the tornado warning here. So Patrick, good news is it looks like that's gone, and I think we're in pretty good shape, at least for right now.
Yeah, for right now. The reason why I think that this did flare up is because, again, if I go back over here and actually give me just 2 seconds, I'll pop up the actual temperature map here. It's riding the boundary. It's riding that stalled boundary, and typically you're right along that stalled boundary. Sometimes you can get just enough spin in the atmosphere to get that going. There are still some opportunities for some strong and severe thunderstorms as we go through the course of the day, friends. So we're not completely out of the woods just yet when it comes down to our severe weather potential. That is the boundary I'm talking about. There are still storms out to the west of us that we've got to get through. Right now, no active severe weather here across the Mid-South. So things will start to improve from a standpoint, at least, that if you live north of the boundary, I don't think severe weather is going to be as prevalent. But south of that boundary, there's still an opportunity, at least through about 7 or 8 o'clock tonight. You see the storms out in northwestern Arkansas. They could ride that boundary right into the Mid-South. And given the fact that we've got a little bit more instability down there across places like Clarksdale, Marks, Tunica, Batesville, and Oxford, Helena, West Helena, and Mariana, those are the areas that we're going to highlight moving forward as we go through the remainder of the day. Time right now is 12:13. What we're going to do here, we're going to send you back.
1:13.
1:13. Sorry, it's like I've been up since 12:13 this morning. But we will send you back over to the Premier League right here on Action News 5 for meteorologist Eric Brill. I'm First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis. Send you back over to the Premier League already in progress. Oh, skating now. Oh. It's like we went into skating.
I don't know.